Hello dear students, today we're going to continue the second part of our lesson, which is about the nervous system. At the end of this part, you will be able to define the peripheral nervous system, notice the neuron with its main parts, differentiate between the sensory and motor neurons. In the first part of our lesson, we mentioned that the nervous system is divided into two parts. The central nervous system that includes the brain and spinal cord, and the peripheral nervous system includes the nerves that depart from the central nervous system. This means the nerves leave the central nervous system till they reach all the organs in our body. What is a neuron? A neuron is a nerve cell that runs through the body. Neurons transmit all the information which depart from the central nervous system to the organs of the organism and vice versa. Here we're going to see the structure of a neuron with its parts, and we're going to talk about all the parts in details. Let's see now what are the parts of a neuron. In the picture here, we see a cell body containing a nucleus, dendrite, axon, Schwann cell, myelin sheath, node of Ranvier, axon terminal. So let's start now talking about all of these. What is a neuron? As we said that the neuron is a nerve cell. So because it's a cell, it's made up of a cell body presenting a nucleus, a cytoplasm, and a cytoplasmic membrane, and extensions that allow the transport of information from one point to another in the body. What are these extensions? These extensions are of two kinds. Some are short, as you see here in the picture, which are called dendrites, and others are very long. These are the axons that end at the level of a muscle by a short terminal tree, as you see here in the picture, which is called the axon terminals. So don't forget that in every neuron we have two kinds of extensions. The short extensions are called the dendrites, and the very long extensions are called the axons that end at the level of a muscle by a short terminal tree that we call the axon terminals. Now we're going to talk about Schwann cells, myelin sheath, and nodes of Ranvier. What are Schwann cells? These cells wrap around the axons of the neurons to form the myelin sheath. What about nodes of Ranvier? The nodes of Ranvier are the gaps formed between the myelin sheaths generated by different cells. I mean here by different cells, the Schwann cells. There are two major types of neurons, sensory neurons and motor neurons. How can I differentiate between these two types? Sensory neurons transmit information from sensory organs to the central nervous system. So by this, the sensory neurons enter the spinal cord, while motor neurons transmit orders or responses of the central nervous system up to the effector organs. So by this, the motor neurons leave the spinal cord. Usually the effector organs are muscles that contract. Here we're going to introduce the stimulus, receiver organs, and effector organs. What is a stimulus? A stimulus is something which causes a response or reaction. This means the stimulus is an input to a person's or animal's senses which causes a response or reaction. Receiver organs are the organs that receive the excitation from the stimulus. Effector organs, as we said previously, they are usually the muscles that contract. Let's see here this application that help us to learn more about the stimulus, receiver organs and effector organs. Let's read it all together. A driver must slow down and push on brakes on the approach of a red light. To push the brake, the driver must therefore perceive the stimulation. In response to this stimulation, the muscles of the thigh, leg and foot are going to contract when they receive the order. The driver hits the brakes and stops his vehicle. Indicate in this example the stimulus, the receiver organs, and the effector organs. I want you to stop this video and think about the answers by yourself, and then you will see the correct answers in the next slide. The stimulus is the red light. Since the red light is the input that causes excitation for the driver while moving on. The receiver organs are the eyes, since the eyes are the organs that receive the red light. The effector organs are the muscles of the thigh, leg and foot that will contract. Please, dear students, watch this video many times in order to understand your lesson very well. Don't forget, stay home, stay safe, take care.